Raina Vann proudly serves as the Multicultural Liaison for the County of Henrico here in Virginia. Her work includes identifying and establishing strong community partner relationships, connecting internal stakeholders and staff with organizations and agencies to support community needs in times of crises and stability, creating a weekly presence with the only Spanish speaking radio. Oh my goodness, radio information station in the region, and collaborating with a team of individuals, One Henrico. Guess what? You are here live on the Sharvette Mitchell radio show in our community spotlight. We are excited for all of the platforms that are joining us live. We know that the multi-streaming channels are sending out notifications and letting you all know to jump on because we're live. Don't you move. We'll be right back here on the Sharvette Mitchell radio show after this quick intro.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. I'm your amazing host, Sharvette Mitchell, marketing consultant, and we work with entrepreneurs all around their visibility, their marketing, and their branding. And guess what? The Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show is one of the platforms that we use to reach out to the community, to share information with our audience of entrepreneurs and leaders, and sometimes we sprinkle in some fun things like relationship stuff, but we're excited that you are here today because the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And for this community spotlight, listen, if you are listening from Henrico, I need you to tag someone else that lives in Henrico or does business in Henrico. And even if you're not, if you're like, hey, Sharvette, I'm in California, listen, stick around. This is all about community, and I'm sure there are things that are similar in your area. So we are glad to have you. We see some of our faithful listeners coming on in. Hey there. Listen, that's my mom. I can always guarantee she's going to be in the audience. We've got hanging out with us over on YouTube, Kim and Deborah. Thank you so much for being here as always, and holding it down. This segment is brought to you by my newest book release called Pearls. And I'm really excited. I joined forces in collaboration with 10 of our clients, and we put together a book collaboration. And I want to share a little bit about that with you right now as we get ready to jump into this segment.
The book collaboration, Pearls, is a collection of advice and guidance for women who want to excel in various areas of their life, career, and business. In this engaging combination of intimate stories, thought-provoking guidance, strategic advice, and practical tips, 11 emerging leaders share pearls of wisdom. By the time you finish reading Pearls, you'll walk away with a collection of invisible pearl necklaces that will make you feel empowered. You will have a renewed sense of direction and confidence to face what's next for you. Order your copy of Pearls today.
All right, there you have it. Grab it. Okay, so let's get ready and jump in for this great conversation. We have Raina Vann. She is in the virtual studio, ready to come up to the mic. So excited to feature her in this community spotlight, multicultural liaison for County of Henrico here in Virginia. Listen, all my business is based, Mitchell Productions is based in Henrico. We have hosted 6 conferences over the last 6 years, all of which were hosted here in Henrico County. We've hosted, oh my goodness, my photographer, we were talking about we've done over 50 photo shoots. I can say 45 all have been shot here in Henrico. So if you are a client and you're like, oh, I traveled to Virginia, you came to Henrico County. Without further ado, coming up to the stage right now, we are excited to have Raina joining us. Thank you and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Sharvette. So glad to be here.
We are glad to have you. We are glad to have you getting some love and claps coming in and all over. And so I want to absolutely jump right on in and really discuss your role as the multicultural liaison for Henrico County, and like, how did you even get here? How did you end up here?
So I started in 2019, and as the first in my role, I'm really responsible for building relationships with county partners and individuals. As a part of that, it's really also about making sure that individuals have information and access to services and the wealth of programs that are free and available. And it's really also important that in addition to building those relationships, sharing information, we're asking questions to know what the needs are throughout the community. So I
Yeah.
work very closely with our Deputy County Manager for Community Affairs, Monica Smith Callahan.
Yeah, lots of impactful work that I'm sure your plate is filled with every single day. Matter of fact, we had to grab you. You're on site now doing some work, and we had to grab you and steal you away. So thank you for that there. And so, I'd love to jump into the resources, because a lot of times those that work, live, do business in Henrico County and counties across, really the United States are not really aware of resources that may be available to them. But specifically for Henrico County residents, what are some of the resources that you'd like to share for residents and business owners?
So it's really easy, starting with HenricoUS. So many people are used to finding information online, and finding the resources through HenricoUS will lead you to a wealth of the access that we have through many of our agencies like Henrico County Public Library, Henrico Recreation and Parks, our police division, and many other services. And so for those who really like to keep up with what's going on social, we actually also have a HenricoUS/social media, so that they are able to keep in touch and follow on the different platforms all of the county managed websites and sanctioned information. So making sure that they're getting everything up to date. And in addition to that, then we also have a new Henrico County Rec and Parks app. And so that's going to tell you what's actually happening. If you want to know what's going on and what's coming up, this is a really great way. The weather is really great around here. And so it's nice to know if you want to get together with friends or, just be able to do something fun on a whim. And then we have our Henrico News, which is a newsletter that provides information. And we have other newsletters, and I know you're sharing this information as well. So our libraries has information. So those are a good starting point for individuals wanting to learn about what's going on. And then, of course, we also have information for those who are doing business in Henrico.
Yes. I'd love to talk about that. I am SWAM certified as of this year. So woohoo, WSB certified as well.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. And I know when I posted kind of the certificate, there were lots of congratulations and where do you go? What do you do? And so any resources related to SWAM?
Absolutely. So continuing the conversation, again, it's easy to remember HenricoUS. That main page is also going to give you the drop downs for our departments. And so from there, you're actually looking for finance, which will take you to purchasing, so that you'll be able to learn more about supplier relations. So it is procurement and supplier relations. And that's where you're getting information about where to start. And as you were sharing specifically within the state of Virginia, we also have various resources like EVA. So that's going to be your state run procurement portal, as well as SWAM resources for those small women and minority small
I know it's always.
I know I won't try and follow the order, but it's the small women and minority owned businesses.
Yes.
So just making sure that there are opportunities for individuals who are interested in getting contracts to be able to work with counties and to be able to work with Henrico County. So that's the importance of what you were sharing. And again, it's very significant. So congratulations to you and for all those small businesses out there. That's really important. So again, that's the work that I do, making sure, just like with this conversation that we're having right now and reaching out to your audience, your dedicated audience, making sure that we're learning about what matters to them.
Yeah, so well said and so well put. And so why is it important in your, opinion that we know what's going on in our community and we kind of get involved in all of that?
So many of us think about our communities as home base, and our communities fortify us. And the investment of our time is critical because this is where we're raising our families, or for ourselves, this is where we're starting. We have our careers, we have the things that are important to us. And so civic engagement, as well as community engagement, really is going to then pour back in and it flows. And so it helps us to know what's going on in our communities. It helps us to be more informed voters, to have individuals and programs and services that we can directly impact. And so the civic engagement is very broad. Sometimes people are going to relegate that just to voting. And while that is very important, especially as we have this November 8th election coming up, it is important. But if you're not a voter, if you're not eligible to vote, you can drive individuals. And beyond that, it's about getting involved in community meetings. So we have a lot of different zoning meetings and board meetings and school board meetings that individuals can come to or stream virtually so that they know what's happening. And then again, that community engagement, oftentimes we feel like we have to travel to go somewhere and have a really good time when there are so many different ways that you can enjoy the county, and a lot of them are free.
Yes. So shout out Henrico County, stand up. I love that. And so great segue, as you said, election coming up. And so certainly the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, we are not a political platform. So we are not saying who to do what. We want to provide information in this community spotlight. And so for Henrico specifically, there's a bond referendum that is going to be coming up. Can you tell, because some people might not even know what that means. What is a bond referendum?
So a bond referendum, and this is a really great conversation, particularly because you're right. Oftentimes people don't really understand what that means. A bond referendum is the least expensive way that we have that the County of Henrico has to take on debt that will be repaid. It is not, and it's going to be at the lowest interest rate, and it is not going to impact taxpayers. And so in addition to that, as a fiscally sound county, we have also the opportunity to ensure that we are making decisions that can support and offset what is necessary for that ongoing management as we're building into the future. So it's important to think of it as a way to do the work that we need to do without having a financial impact directly on taxpayers.
Ah, good. So we have actually a quick video that we want to share from Henrico County about this, and then we'll be back to kind of deep dive. So we'll let you rest and relax in the virtual studio, and listeners should just check out this quick little video here.
We are issuing debt at the very lowest interest rate for our taxpayers and accomplishing significant projects. It's for that reason that we're going to a referendum. There'll be 4 questions on the ballot this fall. One for schools, one for recreation and parks, one for public safety, and one for drainage. So we're looking at $511.4 million in total bonds to be issued over a 6-year period. 2/3 of that amount is going to our school system over a period of 6 years. That amount is a little over $300 million. Do you want to see some of our aging schools receive uplifts, or in some cases brand new schools knocked down and rebuilds? Do you want to see new elementary schools to address capacity? You're going to see a public safety question that asks the public, do they support a number of fire stations, new fire stations, some fire station improvements, a public safety training center, and believe it or not, an animal shelter that we're actually seeking public's input to name at some point in the future. But there's roughly an $84 million question for public safety. You'll have a recreation and parks question. That question is going to be $37 million for a number of projects. One of those projects being a new park in the Three Chopped Area District, an athletic village, if you will. One of those parks being some significant improvements at Deep Bottom Park. And then the third project being finishing off the Tuckahoe Creek Park. And then the final question is $50 million towards various drainage improvements. Drainage projects are very, very expensive. And looking to issue $10 million a year for 5 years to begin significant foray into the area of drainage and flooding issues and other issues that are in the county with residences, with businesses. If you look at the projects from all 4 questions, you're going to see projects that touch quite literally all 5 magisterial districts. You're going to see east-west, you're going to see north-south, central. Projects are located all over the county. With an affirmative vote of a bond referendum, and it allows that would allow us to the county to accomplish some very significant projects. We wouldn't put this out there if we didn't believe these were relevant projects. Certainly we've received that validation from the school board and the board of supervisors. But what we believe are necessary projects, the public has an opportunity to vote yes or no on those 4 questions and tell us what they think.
All right. So there you have it. More information there. And so certainly love to have you, Raina, kind of maybe deep dive in some of the things that you want to highlight about the bond referendum.
Yes. So when we think about our schools, oftentimes what we start to recognize is they begin to age. And in certain circumstances, there may be some ways to do that would involve renovation. So what we're looking to do is actually replace schools and bring them up to date, ensure that there are state-of-the-art resources for our students, as well as thinking about what that looks like for public safety and our fire facilities. So with regards to a new fire training center and other ways that we are improving our fire facilities to ensure that we're delivering the best services for our communities. And then, as you heard, our Deputy County Manager for Administration, Brandon Hinton, in the video refer to the recreation and parks facilities and services for being able to really ensure that we're expanding how people can enjoy the county. And many people are only familiar with the things that they know very well. Yeah. But once you start to get out and travel within the county more, that gives you an opportunity to really embrace what's available. And then finally, we're talking about the drainage. And so many people have experiences with the challenges of water drainage and storm water drainage. And so this provides an opportunity that bond, a yes vote, would allow the county to be able to, as you previously heard, for us to be able to address some of those large capital projects. So these are 4 separate questions. So what that means is individuals will have an opportunity to vote on those 4 individual questions rather than making a decision about them as a whole.
So potentially Parks and Recs could win out and schools not, if depending on how people vote. Interesting.
Right. Yes.
And so yes, go right ahead.
I was just going to say, and as you were saying before, the information that we're sharing is so that individuals can be informed voters. So we can't tell you how to vote. We want to make sure you have the information so that when you do go to the polls on November 8th, or before, because early voting is available until November 5th. so you have the
Wonderful.
right information to make decisions.
And there's some beautiful, like Tucker. My office is diagonal from Tucker. When they were building, some of the construction workers would park in our
That's where I am
parking
right
lot.
now.
Oh, really? Okay, so okay.
Small world. Yes,
Okay,
and you're
yes.
absolutely right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And then the high school that is, I don't know if it's Highlands, it's as you
Highland
go
Springs.
to the airport. Beautiful. So
Yes.
definitely beautiful work. And I always call out, especially to our business owners that are listening and watching, that Parks and Recs really have a lot of great options for your next networking or your next business event, right?
Yes, absolutely. There's so many different small and larger spaces that are available. And it's really nice to be able to do that right in your community and support your community.
Yes, I've hosted women's tea type of event, and I've hosted different things so when you hear those of you that may say, well, are you outside in the park? No, they are beautiful facilities, but they fall under, some people might not know, they fall under Parks and Recreation.
Yes, they do. And I'm so glad you pointed that out because we have athletic facilities. So that means we're talking about the different types of grounds. So many of our basketball courts, our areas where students and youth play, or adults will play baseball. And, there are a lot of different areas, as well as, you may have even attended our Juneteenth events these past 2 years, but you're absolutely right. Great places where you can host small and large meetings. So glad that you found it to be a good resource for you, Sharvette.
Yes. And, I really think the conversation around drainage and flooding probably is top of mind just for a lot of people. I think we've seen in Florida and different places. Certainly, there was weather, but there were people who were nowhere near water, and there was still impact with flooding. And I think in Richmond, we've certainly seen that. So I think that's something just for people to be aware of and kind of think through. Absolutely. Wonderful. Wonderful. And while people are watching and listening, what are the best ways, HenricoUS? I'd love to kind of share some of those links again of how they can connect and learn more.
Absolutely. And so just so that I make sure that I give you all the information that I shared. So especially for multicultural community engagement, again, HenricoUS. And so going to that main page, if you scroll down to the middle, there's the Multicultural Community Engagement logo. And so MCE is in the middle. That will also take you to multicultural-community-engagement / as you are sharing. And that main page takes you to all of the information that's included under the area that I support. So we have our bulletin board, and that's kept up to date weekly with information about what's going on. So here we have events, programs, education links. We also have information about training and jobs and workforce opportunities, health. So a plethora of resources there. And then we also have our heritage celebration. So again, it's that same HenricoUS with the multicultural community engagement / heritage - celebrations. And this is where we have an ongoing fulfillment of information, resources, engagement activities, because we're involved in our communities and celebrating our identities and heritages at all times.
Yes.
So it's great to check those out, because that's where you'll find some real-time activities and great information and resources. And would you like for me to also share my information?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, absolutely. So my name is Raina Vann, and that's RainaVann. And my cell is 804-0601. My office number is 804-501-5844. There are a lot of fives in those. Slow down. And then my email address is van091 @henrico.us.
All right, thank you. And for those that are saying, wait, I didn't catch it all, we got you covered. Just jump over to Sharvette.com. For those that are watching live, Sharvette.com is the best place. We have a full blog post with Raina. All of the links that she's referenced today are there. If you're listening to the podcast version or the talk radio show version, look down below in the show notes, and we have the links there for you. But the one easy way, if you remember my name, Sharvette.com, we have all of the information there for you. For those that are here with us for the Community Spotlight, welcome. We are glad to have you. So Raina, one thing that we love to ask all of our guests that come through, we're really passionate about, what motivates people, what influences people, what is something that excites them. And we want to know what continues to motivate you.
I love the job that I have. I love the opportunity to be able to work with our diverse communities. And that is very broad. And so, there are so many of us who are oftentimes really just trying to find the right connections and may not have the right answer, may not know who to go to. And for example, just even having this connection with you, I just want to, shout out Shannon Sport, who is our diversity equity and inclusion specialist for Henrico County, and Jeff Conley, who leads procurement and purchasing. And just that connection there is how now we have an inroads to having these conversations, which I'd love to come back and do more of, because it's in this way that we're able to really learn, be in touch. You can share information with your audience, but then I can also take that back and really see what matters. So for me, what motivates me is knowing that there are folks out there who appreciate the opportunity to stay connected and to know that there's so much that we can do in partnership. And so I'm really glad to be able to speak to your audience today and be with you this evening.
All right. Well, listen, we got that on record now. So when we reach back out, we got that on record.
Absolutely.
And
Please
shout out Jeff and Shannon and just all of the connections in Henrico County. And they were like, wait, we have someone that would be great to come on camera, come on air. And so I'm really glad the connection is made there. And so listen, our time flew on by, but thank you so much for being here and just sharing. And again, our hope is that we just enlighten and that we give people some information so that they have in their back pocket, in particular, because we are going to be walking into the elections and we want to make sure, hey, you don't look down and say, these are 4 questions. I didn't really prepare myself. Now you have a little bit more preparation. So we will let you get back to all the other great work that you're doing. Thank you for stopping by the show.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right. There you have it. Our community spotlight here on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Sharvette.com. Again, any links, if you're like, wait, what did she say? Wait, Sharvette.com is the best place to go to check out the full blog post. We have all of the links that were referenced if you're listening to the podcast. And hey, shout out to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Spreaker, all of those places. Look down in the show notes and you'll see connection points and links there for you. Again, this segment was brought to you by my latest book collaboration, which is out and available everywhere. The easiest place, if you're already listening at Sharvette.com, it's right there on the homepage. You can purchase your copy. Also available on Amazon, all the digital platforms, soon to be, I'm just telling y'all first, soon to be audio book. We have the audio being taken care of, recorded now. So I just, don't tell nobody. It's coming. So it'll be also an audio format version. So that's a wrap. We will see you all later on the web. Thank you so much for being here. And we'll check you out later. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.